Have you ever been drifting off to sleep, feeling all cozy and relaxed, when suddenly your whole body jerks and you wake up with a jolt? Maybe you felt like you were falling, or you just had this weird involuntary twitch. If that sounds familiar, you've experienced what's called a hypnic jerk. It's also known as a sleep start, a hypnagogic jerk, or a night start. It might sound a bit alarming, but don't worry, it's actually super common and completely normal. In fact, up to 70% of people experience them. So, what exactly is happening to our bodies when we have these strange jolts, and why do they happen? Let's dive in and uncover the mystery behind these nighttime twitches. A hypnic jerk is essentially a brief, sudden, involuntary muscle contraction that happens just as you're transitioning from being awake to being asleep. It usually affects just one part of the body, like an arm or a leg, but sometimes it can feel like your entire body is involved. For most people, it's a mild little twitch that doesn't even wake them up. But for others, it can be strong enough to startle them awake, sometimes with a racing heart and a bit of confusion. Often, these jerks are accompanied by a vivid sensation of falling or tripping. You might even have a quick dream fragment, like stumbling off a curb or falling out of bed, that seems to trigger the physical jolt. It's a fascinating and slightly strange phenomenon, but it's a perfectly natural part of the sleep process. So, what's the science behind it? Well, researchers aren't 100% certain, but they have some pretty solid theories. The most popular one has to do with a little miscommunication in your brain as it shuts down for the night. Think of your brain as having two competing systems, one that keeps you awake and alert, called the reticular activating system, and another that promotes sleep and relaxation. As you fall asleep, the sleep system starts to take over, and your muscles begin to relax. But sometimes the awake system puts up a little fight. It might misinterpret the deep muscle relaxation as a sign that you're actually falling. In response, it sends a quick protective signal to your muscles to catch yourself, causing that sudden jerk. It's like your brain's last little burst of daytime energy before it finally gives in to sleep. Another theory points to our evolutionary past. Some scientists suggest that this reflex might be a leftover trait from our primate ancestors who slept in trees. For them, a sudden muscle relaxation could mean literally falling out of a tree, which would be pretty dangerous. So this startle mechanism would have been a useful way to quickly check their position and make sure they were still secure before fully nodding off. It's like an ancient safety check that our modern brains haven't quite forgotten, even though most of us are sleeping safely in our beds. While we no longer need to worry about falling from a branch, this old reflex might still kick in from time to time. Now, you might be wondering if there are things that make hypnic jerks more likely to happen, and the answer is yes. Several lifestyle factors can increase their frequency and intensity. One of the biggest culprits is caffeine and other stimulants. Having coffee, tea, or an energy drink too close to bedtime can overexcite your nervous system, making it harder for your brain to transition smoothly into sleep. This overstimulation can lead to more of those misfires we talked about, resulting in more noticeable hypnic jerks. So if you're prone to these sleep starts, you might want to consider cutting back on your afternoon latte. Intense exercise late in the evening can also be a trigger. While regular exercise is great for sleep, working out vigorously right before bed can leave your muscles and your brain in a heightened state of arousal. Your body is still revved up, and it takes a while to wind down. This can interfere with the normal relaxation process that happens when you fall asleep, making you more susceptible to those sudden muscle twitches. It's generally a good idea to schedule your more strenuous workouts for earlier in the day to give your body ample time to cool down before hitting the sheets. Stress and anxiety are also major contributors. When you're feeling stressed, your body is in a state of high alert, often referred to as the fight or flight response. This makes it much harder to relax both mentally and physically. High levels of stress hormones like cortisol can disrupt your sleep patterns and make your nervous system more jumpy. If you've had a particularly stressful day, you might find that you experience more hypnic jerks that night as your brain struggles to switch off and let go of the day's worries. It's a physical manifestation of the mental tension you're carrying. Irregular sleep schedules can throw your internal body clock, or circadian rhythm, completely out of whack. If you're going to bed and waking up at different times every day, or if you're sleep deprived, your brain gets confused. This can lead to a messy transition into sleep. Instead of a smooth handover from the awake system to the sleep system, you get more of a clumsy battle, which can result in more frequent and powerful hypnic jerks. Sticking to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends, can help regulate your sleep-wake cycle and reduce these disturbances. So, are hypnic jerks something you need to worry about? In the vast majority of cases, absolutely not. They are a benign, harmless phenomenon. They don't cause any damage to your body and aren't a sign of any underlying neurological disorder. For most people, they are just a minor, occasional annoyance. However, in some rare cases, they can become a source of anxiety. Some people start to fear going to sleep because they're worried about experiencing a strong jerk. This can create a vicious cycle where the anxiety about the jerks actually makes them more likely to happen. This is sometimes called sleep start anxiety. If you find that hypnic jerks are frequently disrupting your sleep or causing you significant distress, it might be a good idea to chat with a doctor or a sleep specialist. They can help rule out any other potential sleep disorders and offer strategies to manage the anxiety. It's important to remember that for most of us, these twitches are just a quirky part of being human. They are a little reminder of the complex and amazing processes happening inside our brains every single night as we drift off into the world of dreams. So what can you do to reduce them? The key is to promote a smooth and peaceful transition into sleep. First, focus on good sleep hygiene. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. This could involve reading a book, taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or practicing some light stretching. The goal is to signal to your body and mind that it's time to wind down. Avoid screens like your phone, tablet, or TV for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light can interfere with your body's production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Managing stress is also crucial. Try incorporating relaxation techniques into your daily routine, not just at bedtime. Things like meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindfulness can help lower your overall stress levels. If you find your mind is racing at night, try writing down your worries in a journal before you go to sleep. This can help you park those thoughts so they don't follow you to bed. And of course, take a look at your diet and exercise habits. Try to limit caffeine and alcohol, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime. Finish any vigorous exercise at least a few hours before you plan to sleep. A balanced diet and regular, moderate exercise can do wonders for your overall sleep quality. By making these simple lifestyle adjustments, you can create the perfect conditions for a calm, jerk-free night's sleep. The next time you're jolted awake by that strange falling sensation, just remember, it's most likely just a hypnic jerk. It's a harmless glitch in your brain's sleep-wake transition, a little echo from our evolutionary past. It's not dangerous, and it's incredibly common. By understanding what it is and what triggers it, you can take simple steps to minimize its occurrence and ensure it doesn't disrupt your precious rest. So relax, take a deep breath, and let yourself drift off peacefully. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the human body and mind. Sleep well.